Right, I've fitted my throttle cables and adjusted everything up, but I'm going to talk you through the procedure for this, the Ultra, for anything really that's got cruise control on it. It's a bit more involved in setting up the throttle. To start with, obviously connect all your cables up, and then once you've got your cables connected at your throttle body, this cable, this side, the front one, if you sat on the bike, the cable that's furthest away from you is your pull cable. What you want to do is wind your throttle fully open and then adjust your cable on your adjustment screw bit here until you're getting full throttle down at your throttle body. Once you've achieved that, let the throttle back off and make sure that it's closing all the way onto the throttle stop on the throttle body. Now, once you've got to that point, this is where it gets a bit more awkward. I'm just going to see if I can zoom in onto this bit here. As I say, on the models equipped with cruise control, just here, see that back, you've got an electrical connector here, and it's basically for the throttle roll off when your cruise is set. And you need to set some parameters on the cruise control so that you know that your cables are in the right place. As in, if I was to roll the throttle on and then close it, when the throttle's open, your contacts are open on here, and your cruise knows that they're open, and if you alter the throttle, it'll send a reading to the cruise control, which will automatically knock the cruise control off. Right, what I'll do next is I'll knock you off, move you around the other side of the motor, and we'll get set up there. Right, what you've got here is your cruise control module. What you want to do is just pull this tag back and pull the plug out. You've got to do some testing in here. Once you've got your plug out, get yourself in a multimeter and then set it to ohms and then do some testing. What I'll do, I'm going to move you around the other side of the bike again and we'll get set up and do the testing. Right, I've left you on that side of the bike because when I tried to set you up on this side, you wouldn't have been able to see now. Right, get your multimeter and set it onto your ohms setting, and then on your plug that's come out of your cruise module, find your wires, which is blue and yellow and orange and blue. I think actually in the manual, if I'm not mistaken, I think that says violet and yellow and orange and violet. Right, basically get plugged into put your probes, should I say, into the two selected wires once you've found them, and you shouldn't be getting a reading. It should just be on well, that for me, if I take the probes back off, it doesn't alter, and that means there's no reading. And if I put my probes back into the wires, I'm still getting no reading. The electronical term is infinity. means the contacts are open. Right, now when you set your throttle before, you should still be, I'll just get this in the thing better, you should still have a load of slack on your idle cable. While it's like that, just rotate your throttle to the full closed position, and you'll see there that it's given me a reading now. It's got continuity. Now basically, once you've got that, and when you let your throttle back off it goes back to infinity. Once you've got that, adjust your idle cable, which was your other cable underneath your throttle. Adjust that up until you've got like about 1.5 mil of free play on your throttle, and then repeat the process again. Full stop, as in turn it to its full stop, full off position should I say, and then rotate or push your handlebars fully left and fully right, keeping your throttle on the fully closed position, and you should get continuity all the time. And then when you let your throttle back off in the centre position, you should get infinity, no reading. That is your cables set. On the cruise models, that is. It's not as crucial on a system that hasn't got cruise control. As long as you can open and close your throttle properly, that's all that matters. But on a cruise model, you need to be sending the right signals to your cruise module, or your cruise control won't work. Right, and once you've got that test done, you can then go ahead and, as I say, mine's already done, but plug the module back in. You can also tighten all your lock nuts up on the throttle adjustment. Right, I'll knock you off for now. Actually, when the bike's running, when it's back together completely, you need to do what they call cable lash adjustment for your cruise control, and it's where you put it into a sequence mode of its own, where it sets its own parameters for its cruise control. When I'm at that stage, I'll show you how that's done. Right, I'll knock you off for now. Get on to the next bit. Right, I'm going to put the shifter linkage rod back on. Obviously you've got your gear change lever that's on the back of your transmission, and you've got your front arm. So basically what you want to be doing is just get your rod through your front arm. And I want a little bit of blue thread lock on this. Just a tiny little dab. Doesn't need a mega amount. Right, once you've got some thread locker on, just get it in position and start winding her in. On the back it screws into the shifter arm. On the front there's a like nut and bolt and stuff to go on. and then just nip it up. It doesn't need to be like really tight. You know, you're not tightening an M16 balls up onto something. Right, and then on the front, just get your washer and a lock washer and feed them onto the back. And then again, just a little touch of, just a little drop of blue Loctite onto threads. And then get your bolt, your nut, fuck's sake. I'm doing this a bit cack-handed because the camera's in the way. Right, and just wind that up. And then basically it's the same thing, just get your spanner on the front. And tighten that up. And that's your linkage in place. And then put your cover over it. Now, I don't know why there's a cutout in the front of that. It was on when I got the bike. Right, and on there's a bolt on either end that screws in, holds your cover in place. And I just put a bit of low strength, just a drop of low strength Loctite. And line it up. Can be a bit of a pain, this front one, for some reason. Right, I'm just going to move myself to the front bike so I can see better. Right, just screw that up until it nips. Again, it doesn't need to be seriously tight. And same on the back one, just a bit of low strength Loctite. For doing this back one, it's probably easier to just reach through from the other side because I haven't got exhaust and everything in the way at the minute. and again just nip it up, and that's your linkage on. Right, and I think what we'll do next while we're on this side of the bike is we'll refit the horn. So I'll knock you off a sec and go and get the horn. Right, fitting the horn is pretty straightforward really. Just take your acorn nut off and your washer. Just hang your horn in place and put your acorn nut and washer back on. Now there is a clamp on the back of the horn for your wire, so just nip it up so you can just still move it, and then crouch down and just eye it up so it's up and down properly, equally. And then once you've done that, just nip her up, and then it torques up to 11 Newton meters. And that dumbass moved it. Right, as I say, there's a clip on the back for the wires. Some folk find it easier to put it on before the horn is bolted on, but it isn't really that hard to just feed it through. I just moved it over the other side of that fuel line, and it wanted to be on that side anyway. Yeah, so just feed it into the clip, bend the clip round, add the wire, and then basically just plug your wires into the bottom of your horn. Right, knock you off again for now. Right, next step we're going to do is I'm going to put the belt guard back on the bottom of the swing arm. So, let's get myself set up here. But first thing, I've got bolts and I've put some anti-seize grease on them. So just get your front one started in. Get it so far, then once you've got that wound in, I'll just get my other two and move them to where I can reach them. Right, once you've got that front one on your cover, you've got a big hole with a little slot, and obviously your two holes for the back two. But what you want to be doing is feed your bolt through the big hole, and then push it forward until these back holes line up, and then grab one of your bolts out the back, wind that all the way in. As I say, I've got anti-seize grease on the bolts. Right, and nip the back ends up. Very tight. And then the front one you have to do with a spanner because you can't get the socket on it. Just nip that up, and that's your belt guard on. Right, and I think the next step is, well actually, seeing as how it's 5:15 in the morning, I think I'll actually go and make myself a brew, and then we'll come back and we'll put the back wheel in. Right, I'll knock you off for now. Right, before we put the back wheel in, I'm just going to show you there's these two clips, one there and one just a bit further in. Get the torch back to where it was. Yeah, them two clips there, they're for your brake pipe to your back brake caliper, and because I can't get the camera in position to see them without holding it, I'll knock it off, I'll get my pipe fed through them and the clips put back in place, and then we'll get set up and put the back wheel in. Right, knock you off for now.